Hey, welcome. So in the business world, you probably hear these two names thrown around all the time, Lean and Six Sigma. But what's the actual difference between them? Today we're going to break it down by thinking of them as a tale of two different experts you'd call to solve a really critical problem.
You know this feeling, right? At work, every single day, it's this constant battle. Do we go fast to hit that deadline, or do we slow down to make sure everything is absolutely flawless? It always feels like you have to pick one. But what if you don't? What if you could actually have both? That's the big question we're going to tackle.
To really crack this, we first have to understand that fast and flawless are two totally different kinds of problems. And because they're different problems, well, they need two very different kinds of experts to solve them.
So let's picture this. Let's say your process is just slow. It's bogged down, it's clunky, it's full of steps that don't make any sense. Who do you call? You call in Lean, the expert on efficiency. But what if your process is just unpredictable? It's spitting out errors, the quality's all over the place? Well, that's a job for a different expert, 6Sigma, the master of precision. So let's meet our first specialist, Lean. If you think of Lean as a person, they are absolutely obsessed with one thing, and one thing only: hunting down and destroying waste. Any kind of waste, anywhere it's hiding, all to make things faster. And this is the core philosophy. Lean, which famously came out of the Toyota production system, has this really powerful idea of what waste is. It's anything your customer would not be happy to pay for. Think about that for a second. All the waiting around, fixing mistakes, filling out extra paperwork. From the customer's point of view, that's just waste. Lean's whole mission is to create a super smooth, efficient flow that only includes things that add real value. So what does this Lean expert actually do when they show up? First, they go on a waste elimination spree, getting rid of things like waiting time or having too much stuff sitting on a shelf. Next, they untangle the process to get everything flowing smoothly. And this last part is absolutely crucial. Lean is all about empowering the people who actually do the work, the folks on the front lines, to spot problems and fix them themselves. All right, time to meet our second expert. If Lean is all about speed, 6Sigma is all about precision. This expert doesn't just look at the flow, they dig into the hard data to get you to near perfect quality and make your results predictable. The key words you've got to remember here are data-driven and variation. See, 6Sigma doesn't do gut feelings. It's all about statistics. It uses this really structured 5-step framework called DMAC. That stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. It's basically the scientific method for business problems, letting you dig deep, find the real root cause of errors, and make sure they never, ever happen again.
And the goals here, they are crystal clear. First, 6Sigma's mission is to get the number of defects and errors as close to zero as humanly possible. It does this by tackling variation, making your process so consistent and predictable that it's almost boring, in a good way. And because it's all based on data, you can actually measure the impact it has on your quality and, your bottom line.
Okay, so we've met our master of speed and our master of precision. Now for the fun part. Let's put them in the ring, side by side, and see just how different their mindsets and their toolkits really are. This table just lays it all out, doesn't it? Lean is focused on speed, and its core question is always, do we even need to do this step? It uses very visual, hands-on tools, like value stream mapping, where you literally draw out your whole process to see where the waste is. 6Sigma, on the other hand, is all about quality. Its core question is this step consistent? And its tools are all about heavy-duty statistical analysis, using things like DMAIC and statistical process control to monitor everything. So, here's the bottom line. Got a slow process? Call Lean. Got an unstable, unpredictable process? That's a job for 6Sigma. But here's the twist in the story. This isn't really about picking a winner. In the real world, these two experts are at their absolute most powerful when they're not rivals, but when they're allies. And this is where the idea of Lean 6Sigma comes from. And this right here, this is the magic formula. You take Lean's relentless focus on making things fast, and you combine it with 6Sigma's obsession with making things perfect. The result? True operational excellence. You're not just doing things faster, you're doing the right things faster, and you're doing them with near-perfect quality every single time. I love this quote because it just nails the relationship. Think of it like this. Lean is the scout. It goes through your process, clears out all the obvious junk, gets rid of the easy-to-spot waste, and makes everything flow better. But in doing that, it often uncovers these deeper, trickier, more complex problems. That's when you bring in Six Sigma, the specialist with all the advanced tools to solve those really tough, data-heavy challenges.
So what does this team up actually look like in your day-to-day job? Well, it means you finally get to have both speed and quality. You could use Lean to slash your customer service response time from, say, 2 days down to 2 hours, and then use Six Sigma to make sure every single one of those faster responses is also 100% accurate. You end up with lower costs because you're not wasting resources, and higher quality because you're not making mistakes. It really is the best of both worlds.
So look, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this simple, powerful distinction. Lean makes you faster by removing what's unnecessary. Six Sigma makes you better by removing what's unpredictable. One streamlines the process, the other stabilizes it. That's the whole game right there. And that leaves us with one last question, and this one's for you to think about. When you look at your own job, your own projects, what's the bigger enemy that's holding you back? Is it the unnecessary step, the waste that Lean is designed to attack? Or is it the unpredictable result, the variation that Six Sigma was built to fix? The answer to that question tells you exactly which expert you need to call first. Thanks for tuning in.